What's next for retail investors? Robinhood CEO shares his vision and discusses how retail investors are navigating market volatility, crypto regulation, and the future of trading. Stay to the end as Tenevs also discusses the crypto's evolution, prediction markets, and Robinhood's role in the next wave of financial innovation.
Of all of the action in the Middle East right now.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I was a little bit surprised that over the weekend, when all of this was happening, the markets didn't move so much in the overnight.
Right.
I don't know if you guys were surprised by that, but I feel like if this had happened a year or 2 years ago, we would have had a huge move. But markets were flat to even a little bit up. And if we look at retail has pretty much continued to buy the names that they were buying previously.
Right.
So heavy in the AI space with companies like NVIDIA, Tesla, electric vehicles, big in crypto and, you know, fintech related companies. So it's very much long innovation. Some companies like Palantir, obviously in the defense space, continue to be retail favorites, but that was always the case. That's been the case for many, many years. So I would interpret it as retail is sort of moving on ahead, investing.
How much of the retail community on Robinhood are basically all in on sort of 10 major stocks? I mean, or is it much more dispersed than that?
It's pretty dispersed. I mean, I think you can look at the breakdown. We publish some stats about the top stocks on the platform. It's more than 10. Obviously, you look at the top ones, Tesla, NVIDIA, those
Palantir, that's why I was just thinking just how much of the action is focused in one place.
But new ones come in all the time. I mean, there's been a lot of interest in Circle, as you can imagine. I think that HIMS had a big move yesterday. That always, when you have a big move like that around news, you always have retail and institutional jumping in. So I wouldn't say it's just the top 10. There's new things coming in all the time. And now we have futures trading. So we did see some heightened activity around crude oil, but also that the futures traders have always been trading that. So I would say broad-based equities and crypto, it's pretty similar to how it was last week. High volumes, but no huge shifts as a result of the conflict.
Talking about crypto, we had a report this morning on the framework of this market structure bill, which I don't know, I imagine you've been focused on, I don't know. And some investors really see this as even more significant than the Genius Act, I think, in part because it would allow exchanges like yourself to register with the CFTC, which would then reduce, I imagine, SEC oversight over digital currencies. Is that the way you see it?
I think it's a big thing because if you look at crypto right now, over the past 4 years, the really interesting, high potential things in crypto have all been pushed overseas. So we're actually doing an event next week in the south of France, our first big crypto event, our first big international event. And one of the messages is Europe's actually ahead of the U.S. at this point. So it's rare that America has to catch up in a frontier innovation industry, but here we are. So I think these bills provide much needed clarity for builders to actually bring back a lot of that innovation in the U.S., make it available in our home market.
When you think, though, about sort of the next stage of all the crypto stuff, where do you see you playing in this versus the Coinbases of the world? I'm just sort of curious how you think about yourself versus crypto. Do you think long term it's going to be exchanges like yours, or it's going to be these sort of crypto-only exchanges where most of the crypto action takes place?
I do think that crypto itself, there's two ways to look at it. One is a tradable asset like options, futures, and equities. The other is as a fundamental underlying technology. And in the second lens, it's the next stage in evolution. We've gone from, paper and pencil, filing cabinet-based financial services to mainframe to on-premise, and then more recently cloud. Now, crypto is the next stage in that, where a lot of the business logic that we've required businesses to actually build is now shared infrastructure. So exchanges, lending pools, payment processors, all these things are replaced by software. So I think in the future, crypto technology will power trading and all sorts of financial services, including trading in stocks and other TradFi assets. So the two will fully merge. And I think Robinhood will play a big role in that because we're actually one of the few, maybe the only, that has a very high-scale crypto business and a high-scale traditional financial services business.
Okay, the other big issue is the world of Kalshi and the world of Poly Market. And I'm curious, and by the way, also the world of sports betting.
Yeah.
And where you think Robinhood in the end plays in all of that? Meaning, do you think it's exchanges that will be the leaders in that realm, or do you think that this will take place in these other betting realms?
Yeah, I do think exchanges will play a role. I mean, if you look at our offering, so we launched prediction markets last fall with the presidential election, and we did that in partnership with ForecastX, which is Interactive Brokers' subsidiary contract market. And then more recently, we've been expanding. We do all sorts of economic indicators, inflation, CPI, gas prices, and sports. And that's been in partnership with Kalshi. So I think our role in this market is retail distribution. We've got close to 26 million customer accounts just in the U.S. that are interested in this stuff and are in the target demographic. So I think distribution is going to be very important. Exchange infrastructure is obviously important to make the market happen as well.
Now, you were at $10 not so long ago. You're almost a $60 billion company now. Are you bullish on?
I thought a little bit higher than that. If I checked,
I got 60 on. So it's how many shares outstanding? If you're at 77, 78, are you more?
Now you're asking me math questions. You know, I'm not
okay.
much of a math guy, as you know.
The machine here says based on the outstanding shares, 767,000 outstanding shares times 77. There might be some options that aren't included. But so, what do you think the market cap is? About 70, 60, 70, or?
I think, yeah.
Okay.
I think your point is.
My point is that
is well taken.
With AI and with, I don't know. I see some of the excesses in the last 5 years. Some of the woke stuff, some of the DEI stuff, some of the anti-business stuff. It just seems with AI like you're on the cusp of. I think it's going to be maybe a great, prosperous time to be in your business, and I'm wondering if you feel the same way. I mean,
we're certainly investing a lot.
I mean, are you bullish on the stock market?
Incredibly. I think that there's so many long-term tailwinds for the stock market.
Globally, just even what's happening now in the Middle East.
Well, you look at AI. I think AI is very bullish for the stock market over the long run. I don't know if you guys saw this Invest America initiative. We're at the White House, and it's included in the Big Beautiful Bill. But this is basically one of the few things in there that both parties generally are supportive of. And that'll fund every child born in this country $1,000 in the stock market.
We're going to have to go, but I have one last question. SPACs, they're back. Good or bad?
I'm in favor of new innovation for getting companies public. I think too few companies are public, but I think there's a deeper problem. I think it's just still too difficult, and new solutions are needed.
In terms of the model?
Yeah.